My name is Rick Simpson, and I'm here in the beautiful city of Lijeka to speak about the use of hemp medicine. What's truly happened here is years ago, big money has manipulated governments and all kinds of organizations into keeping this plant away from the public because it's so medicinal. And not only that, it's an energy source. It can feed the planet too on top of that, because the hemp seeds are one of the most nutritious things you can eat. But the main use that I preach about is, the medicinal use. And big money interests like the pharmaceutical industry, the cotton industry, the oil industry, chemical industries, they didn't want the public to have free use of this plant. And if you understood what this medicine was truly all about, you could understand why. I mean, up until about 1900, half the medicine produced worldwide came from this plant. And it's only been the last few decades that the public have been denied the use of it. And the reason they were denied the use was just simply because it is so medicinal. And if we had the free use of this medicine, if we could grow this plant ourselves and produce our own medicine, then pharmaceutical companies would be out of work. So, we can't blame our governments and we can't blame the medical system, but the people in the background, the big money interests, are the ones that have caused this situation. And people are dying all over this planet and suffering for no reason. This medicine is basically a cure-all. It's non-addictive, it's harmless, and it's a medicine that you can use your whole life with great benefit because it extends life. It makes it... Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yep. It's a medicine that you can use your whole life. And it's good for every man, woman, and child on this earth. And right now, we need this medicine badly, because the chemicals that the pharmaceutical industry supply us with, they don't heal. And other treatments they use, like chemotherapy and radiation, well, to me that's just madness, because these are carcinogenic treatments. Now, carcinogenic means that they cause cancer. But the system we have today, they use these treatments to cure cancer, which is, again, more insanity. But where this medicine is non-addictive and harmless, this is the greatest medicine on this planet for treating all types of diseases like cancer, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, chronic pain. I could sit here and go on for the next hour, because in reality, this medicine works on all medical conditions. It promotes full body healing, and it doesn't just go after like the condition you have. Like when you go to the medical system and you have say a big tumor, the medical system tries to treat the tumor. They're not treating the underlying condition that's allowing your body to create that tumor. But when you take this oil, it goes after the underlying condition, plus it goes after the tumor. And we've just seen miraculous results with the use of this medication. And where it's harmless, why shouldn't we all have access to it? Well, I'm not here to try to sell anything to anyone. I'm just telling people the truth that I learned about back in 2003. And I've been to everyone that I could think to go to in this world, like the cancer societies, the governments, the United Nations. We've been everywhere, but nobody wants to accept this because they have these crazy laws in place. They've told us for decades that hemp or marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it, is a dangerous drug. Well, do you know anybody that died from hemp? I don't. It doesn't kill people. And there's no addiction to it. There's no danger. So the reasoning they've given us don't even make sense. This medicine should be allowed. And on top of this, it's a God-given plant. That plant was put here for us to use in all different ways. But so who has the right to tell us that we can't grow this plant or that we can't use it as a medicine? They let pharmaceutical companies like GW Pharmaceuticals in England, they're creating cannabis-based medicines and selling it to the public. But we're not allowed to make it for ourselves. But the simple truth is, if we were allowed to grow this plant and produce our own medicines, we could be healing ourselves for practically nothing. Just our own effort to grow it. Well, basically, come this Saturday, I'm going to give everyone a rundown on the history of this plant, the true history of it, you know, how it's been a friend to man for thousands of years. It is man's oldest known and safest medication. And I'll explain to the public who was responsible for having this taken out of medicine, and just basically explain the whole story behind the corruption that's keeping this away from the public. And I think once the people realize what has been done here, I think they'll demand the use of this medicine. Because we as humans have a right. It would be a different thing if this plant was harmful. I would agree. I'd say, okay, fine, outlaw it. But again, like I said, do you know anybody that died from hemp? It's totally harmless. And it really, the essential oil of this plant is the greatest medicine on this earth. And we've already proven, I mean, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people worldwide have now used this as a medication, and they know it works. So it's not a question of whether the medicine works. The main question here is just why are we not allowed to use it? Well, to put it simply, I mean, we have to stand up for our own rights. We have to take our freedom back and our freedom to grow this plant. You know, I mean, should we die because a pharmaceutical company wants to make profit? And I mean, that's what's happening. People are dying for no reason. And they're suffering with illnesses like psoriasis and chronic pain, arthritis, all these horrible things that, you know, they cripple people. And people suffer for years with it. And then, you know, the other illnesses like cancer and diabetes and all types of diseases. There's no reason that this plant couldn't be used to heal the world. And this is the direction we have to go. We have to take back our freedom, and we have to try to get rid of a lot of this pollution that's ruining this planet. Our planet is poisoned. It's in a horrible situation, especially like with that big Gulf oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Then you've got Japan spewing radiation for, well, heaven knows how long. That'll go on. It's spewing massive amounts of radiation into our atmosphere. That's going to make every man, woman, and child and animal life, we're all going to suffer because of this radiation. But this wonderful oil, if you use it properly, it can eliminate radiation damage. It protects you from radiation. So in the situation we're in today, I think we have to be insane not to be using it. And on top of that, this dependency we have on all this fossil fuels, again, the fossil fuels are poisoning our planet. This plant, we can make ethanol from this plant. We can use seed oil as a biodiesel. It's endless what we can do with this plant. And then we will not be at the mercy of these big energy companies. We can all supply our own energy needs. Now, we can heat our homes with ethanol. We can heat our hot water. We can run our cars. I mean, right in Brazil, they're running over half their vehicles right now on ethanol in Brazil. Ethanol made from sugarcane. Now, hemp is a superior plant for producing ethanol because it's 77% cellulose. So this is the ultimate answer to detoxify the planet, because it does, when you plant hemp in the ground, it detoxifies the soil. So it can detoxify the planet, it can detoxify us, it can make us healthier, we will live much longer, and we can live without disease. And we have a medicine here that can be used in a preventative way. If we put people on this and let them take small doses, now I'm not talking about anybody getting high, but small doses of this oil, you can prevent diseases like cancer, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, all kinds of horrible diseases can be entirely prevented. So if we want preventative medicine, here's the answer.